Hello everyone, I hope you're having a lovely day. Today in maths we are going to be looking at pictograms, and our learning intention is to be able to read and interpret a pictogram. Now, before we start looking at pictograms, here is a little starter to get our brains warmed up. This is an example test question. It says Sita puts 10 balls in each bag. How many balls are in the bags altogether? Pause this video here to solve the question. Well done for having a go. Let's work this out together. So we know that Sita is putting 10 balls in each of these bags. So we can count up in our tens to see how many balls are in the bags altogether. Let's count the bags. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So you should have put 100. Well done for working that out. Now, to start off with, we need to think about what is a pictogram. A pictogram is like a bar chart, but instead of bars, we use pictures to represent the data. So here is an example of a pictogram. It says, here is a pictogram of the fruit children chose to eat during snack time. Now, in this column here, we've got the different types of fruit. And then in this column here, we have the number of children who chose it. And to represent that data, we've got a picture of the fruit in each of the columns. So our first question, the first thing we need to work out is how many children chose a pear. So we're going to count up and see how many children chose a pear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 children chose a pear. We can tell that just by counting up how many pictures of pears there are. The second question, it says how many more children chose a pear than a watermelon? So it's asking us not how many children chose a pear or how many children chose a watermelon, but how many more children chose a pear than a watermelon. Now we know that one child chose a watermelon because there's one picture of a watermelon here. And we've already worked out that 7 children chose a pear. So what we can do, these kind of cancel each other out. So I'm going to draw a line through this pear and the watermelon. How many more children chose a pear than a watermelon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 children chose a pear rather than a watermelon. Let's move on. So we've got a question here. How many children chose to eat fruit on this day? You're going to work this question out now. Remember, each child is represented by one piece of fruit. Okay, so they've chosen one piece of fruit. You need to work out how many children chose to eat fruit on this day. Pause the video here to have a go at this question. Okay, well done. Let's count up and see how many children chose to eat fruit on this day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 children that chose to eat fruit on this day. Okay, here we have a different pictogram. This pictogram shows how many cupcakes were sold on each day. Now this time, we've got a scale. It says, what do you notice about this scale? And here we have a picture of a cupcake, and it says, this cupcake here equals 2 cupcakes. This means that each cupcake represented on the pictogram is worth 2. Okay, so this cupcake here on Monday, that is worth 2. This is why it's really helpful to know our 2 times table so that we can now count up and see how many cupcakes were sold on Monday, for example. Let's do that together. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. On Monday, 10 cupcakes were sold because one picture of this cupcake means 2 cupcakes. If we look at Tuesday, we've got 2 full cupcakes that have been sold, and then we've got this half a cupcake. Now it's showing us half because that is representing 1 cupcake. A full cupcake like this is worth 2, and half of the cupcake is just worth 1. It's really important when we're looking at pictograms that we look at the key, which is this here, the scale that tells us what each picture is worth. Sometimes it can be in 2s, sometimes it can be in 5s, sometimes it's in 10s. So it's really important that we look at the key before we start counting up in our times tables or in our 1s to make sure that we're counting the right amount. I've got some questions here for you to practice. It says, how many cupcakes were sold on Monday? How many cupcakes were sold on Tuesday? How many cupcakes were sold on Wednesday? And as a challenge for you, how many more cupcakes were sold on Friday than Wednesday? So you're comparing them. Pause this video here to have a go. Okay, well done for having a go at these. Let's go through these answers together and you can mark your work. So, how many cupcakes were sold on Monday? We know that this full cupcake here is worth 2. So we're going to be counting up in our 2s to work this out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You should have written 10 for this first question. There are 10 cupcakes that were sold. The second question, how many cupcakes were sold on Tuesday? Let's count up in our 2s. 2, 4, oh, we can't count this one as 2 because this one's been cut in half, which means it's only worth 1. 2, 4 plus 1 is 5. Question number 3, how many cupcakes were sold on Wednesday? Let's count them up. 2, 4, 6, 8. There were 8 cupcakes sold on Wednesday. Now our challenge question, how many more cupcakes were sold on Friday than Wednesday? Let's count up the cupcakes that were sold on Friday first. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, at least 13, 14. 14 cupcakes were sold on Friday. Let's see how many cupcakes were sold on Wednesday. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now we know that more have been sold on Friday just by looking at it, but we want to see the difference between them. Now, one way you could do this, you could cross out 4 cupcakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's how many were sold on Wednesday. And then we can count in our 2s to see what's left. 2, 4, 6. The difference between them is 6. You may have also noticed that I said the difference between, and that means in a question we need to do subtraction. So you could have done the column method to work out that problem as well. So these are the answers for these questions. Well done if you managed to get these correct. Let's clear all of my drawings and move on. Now we have some more questions about this pictogram. It says, how many more cupcakes were sold on Monday compared to Tuesday? And how many fewer cupcakes were sold on Thursday compared to Friday? Now for these questions, I would like you to pause the video and have a go. And when you are done, upload them to Padlet for me to have a look at. Pause the video here to answer the questions. Well done for having a go at these. I'm really looking forward to seeing them either on Padlet or you can email them across to me and I will have a look and see how you've managed to get on. I've got some independent activities for you. You don't need to do both. You can just choose what suits you after our little input together. So for a few ideas, you're just going to read and answer the questions on the pictogram. If you're going to do relate, you're going to read and answer the questions on the pictogram where the scale could be in 2s, 5s or 10s. So, a few ideas. This is your pictogram. It says, here is a pictogram to show a class's favourite t-shirts. And we've got the colour down the side. And then this just shows how popular they are. How many children chose these colours to be their favourite t-shirt. Okay, and if you look at the key, it says, one of these t-shirts represents just one t-shirt. You need to have a go at answering these questions down here, these 4 questions. When you're done, you can either upload them to Padlet or you can email them across to me, and I would love to see how you've been getting on. If you're in Mrs. Buttress's class, then you can email them to her as well. So pause the video here to do a few ideas. If you want to move on to relate, if you're feeling confident, then that's absolutely fine. But if you do this and that is enough for you today, then well done. And I'm sure I'll see you very soon. For relate, here is a pictogram for you. And it's talking about the most popular colour suite rather than t-shirts. It says, here is a pictogram. Then we've got the colours down the side. and then the dots represent one choice. And we've got a little girl here, and she says the most popular colour sweet is green. And it says, do you agree with Eva? Explain why, and you have to correct any mistakes that she might have made. Once you've had a go at doing that, you're then going to answer these 3 questions at the side. What is the least favourite colour sweet? What is the how much more popular is the colour blue compared to the colour red? And how much less popular is the colour yellow compared to the colour green? Have a go at this for me and upload any work to Padlet or email them across to Mrs. Buttress or I. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you very soon.